don't even know what we're going to call these videos anymore. I think we should have them every day and invite our members into them. We might do that. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Max Farrell. This is DexFxMarkets.com. And today is the 18th of June, 2020. And welcome to the Den. This is the Dex exclusive network Den, right? And it's kind of weird, right? But it still does its thing. We were originally going to call it the Island, but my wife said, heck no. Do not call it that, please, because you sound like you're a cult. And I don't want to do that. We're not drinking Kool-Aid or doing Jello shots or anything else. All right. With me today, we have Thor Rafferty. Good morning, Thor.
Hey, how's everybody this morning?
And of course, the one and the only Christophe Gagne.
Hey, Max. Good morning.
Who sounds like a robot sometimes because he's a machine. As they say in Russian, the machine. No? Okay. All right. In today's segment of the Den, we want to talk about just a few things on the level of tools that you use, the level of systems that we have, and some of the things that you can kind of get a little confused about on what to do and what to have. If most of you that are watching this are joining us now, and just to give you a quick recap, DexFX Markets is on June 30th going to be closing its open enrollment. And if you're not on the list or in the queue, then you will miss out on the process. And the reason why we're doing this is because I just have to say it. I'm just going to come straight out and say it. We have found the solution that makes us money and makes us money very well. And if we have too many people in and too many people dispersing our time and taking a lot of our time, we want to help as many people as possible get to their idea of success, but our building can only hold so much. Our time can only hold so much. And we're being inundated. When we did the COVID-19 open Dex Atomic free for everybody, we had so many people come to this, and so many people started asking questions on what to do and how to make it. And that poor Thor and Vivian and Paul and myself and Christoph, well, maybe not Christoph. Christoph's used to this kind of celebrityism. But we have—
Nice one, Max.
Thank you. We have found that it's tough. It is really tough, but we can manage it in this solution. We're going to take those that come in and exclusively handle you to a point where you get to a point that you're trading live. That's our goal, to get you to come in the door, assess your situation, get you on the board the system, and boom, trade you live, get you live trading, and live trading consistently. Not just, all right, go here, go for $500 now you're live, now you pay us money, right? It has to be that you're going to come in, you're going to get started, you're going to get hand fed to the points where you have to get to, what pages to go to, what to do next on your system, and then get you to a point where you're trading in demo and training consistently, and then we take you to live. Okay. And once you get to that point and you're there for a while, you're there for more than 30 days, then you'll go into another set of exclusivity, right? Where you'll be in your live section. So you can have people who know how to maintain their live and keep their mentality frame, keep everything going good. You're going to get some good courses. You're going to get a whole bunch of other things that are going to be able to help you maintain your live section, maintain your mentality. And then periodically, whether it's once a year or once every 6 months or once every 3 months, depending on how fast we get those 200 people into live, okay, because that's how many seats we have, 200 that we're going to be doing. Depending on how fast we get them there is how periodically you open up the door. Now, just so you know, when testing, this is with somebody who has known trading pretty well, okay, and not super well, but enough that when he came to us, he didn't know our system, he didn't know our signals and our process. But our new Dex Atomic ATM system We told him a couple of weeks ago, several weeks ago, back on June 2nd, and today's the June 18th. Okay. We told him, go ahead, start training on the Dex Atomic. Here are the rules. Here's a strategy. Go ahead and start. And from June 2nd, maybe some of you have seen this, maybe some of you haven't, to I think it was like June 12th when he started his live. Yeah, June 12th. So June 2nd to June 12th, 10 days, not even really 10 days. If we pull up a calendar and we look, he traded June 2nd, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 days later, he opened up he put it on his live account. He started trading live. 8 days. 8 days of training. Boom, there you go. That should be a song. 8 days a week. And at first, it was probably, I talked to David, and it is nerve-wracking. The first time you go live and you really put the money where the mouth is, you ask yourself all kinds of questions. You start to doubt. By the time you hit your first loss, you're like, oh, if you sometimes this will be up here. It'll be the very first one you come into. Very disenchanting. But he kept strong. He kept pushing. He kept pushing. And I told him a long time ago, make yourself a goal, a daily goal, and go until you get it within reason. Don't beat yourself up to death over it. Okay. And he's been trading an average between 7 to 10 trades a day. Okay. Now, yesterday, he had a bit of a news inflection. There's a lot of news during the morning time, and he had one loss. And he was, it's still a pretty good morning. Don't get me wrong. And then he had another loss at 12, which brought his thing down to about minus $25, only in the hole about $25. So not too bad, but it's still with a 50% success rate. And it's, at the 12 o'clock time period, which was right here, he was up $60 at that point now. You see? So he's still about $40. He wants, I think, about $100 he wants to get per day, And he kept on trading. Now, I know that I told him in the beginning, trade sparsely, don't overtrade, because he needed to get up to a point where he could trade to this effect, right? If you look at this, he doesn't have it broken down how many trades he does in a day, but you can tell it's more than 3 or 4. And he wanted to see what it was like if I started trading live. How do I treat that system? He is now, what I refer to is in a live trader mind. He is now in a live trader's mind because this is his day yesterday. $130. Now, that $130 there, look how many trades are on there, okay? And look how many trades are here. Not as many, more wins, right? You'll get days like this. You'll get days where you'll meet your goal plus some and be done after 4 trades, 5 trades. There'll be some days that you'll make your money in 3. And if your morning's going good, you might want to take it a little bit under because sometimes you'll be a little bit over. And that's where this really sits at, is that we have this binary effect to our brains. We get in, we trade, and especially in trader's mind, you get in your trade, right? You have to decide up or down. You have to decide ITM or ATM. You have to decide, am I going to stay in or am I going to stay? You're always asking yourself, stay in or get out, stay in or get out, stay in or get out. The less that you can split your brain in half, the better. Okay. So once you make your decision, get up and leave. It's my best advice to you. Get up and leave, come back, and don't look at it until it's expired. For those that are in a scalping mentality with ATMs, absolutely fine. You do what you got to do. Your brain can be split that many times. When we get a little bit older, we can't do that as much. It's too hard for us. We just come in and we deal with the consequence of what we have. Just trade. At the end of the day, sitting at 10 o'clock last night, he didn't sit at the computer all day for this, I'm pretty sure. And if we interviewed him, you would probably hear how he doesn't sit. He maybe comes in, he sits down for a little while, and he goes and does something else. Right? But he got to his daily goal. This is incredible. This is just one person. Now, we have others that are doing it. Myself, we have other people that are doing it. Thor trades live with the ITMs. And I'm pretty sure Thor sits in the chair a lot. but I'm pretty sure you do other things too, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. Believe me,
Right.
I'm on for only 10 minutes an hour, if
Hmm.
that.
Right.
On a few minutes before and a few minutes after, and then go do something else, or it'd drive you crazy.
Right. Absolutely. I unfortunately, as you can kind of see by the overall values of how many tabs I have open and have double screens, okay, how many tabs I have open, it's that this cluttered mind process works for me because I'm switching in between my data, what I have to do. There's a lot that I do, by the way, if you don't know. Between being a trader, doing these videos, I'm also the coder, and I'm the hair club president as well, apparently. Okay, so there's a lot of work for me to do. And that's going to bring us into our next fold of this meeting today. For the Dex exclusive network, if you're watching this, maybe it's still open to the public, maybe it's not, maybe you're watching this. Today is Thursday. We said we were going to have everything ready for Friday. We still are, but we're sort of just dumping it all in at once. Okay, so if you're still trying to get to your links and get to your stuff, don't worry, you're in. Everything is golden. Okay, you'll be in there. We're getting it all. We're getting it all down. Okay, and I want you to realize that the amount of training that you're going to have to do to get to this point, if you're already a member, if you've already been with our signals, if you already know our systems or you know how to look at the charts, your time is going to go fast. 2 weeks, maybe a week. Now, I say that not because I think it's condescending to say that you got to learn how to trade my way or no way. You're going to have your own way that you're going to trade stuff. But let me tell you, it took David Menning 2 weeks to get into his mindset, and he's been doing this for a while. So if you're coming here with no experience, don't sweat it. You'll have the time to make it work. You're already paying for your membership. You're here. Your goal is to get it and get it done right. Remember, we talked yesterday about P plus D, your patience and discipline. Patience waiting for the right time for something to happen, and discipline doing the right thing when that time happens. To reach your consistency is the most important goal to get to. That's the one that I would go pop a bottle of champagne for and say, okay, goal one achieved, met. Next, goal 2, step and repeat every day. Once you get to consistency, that you get to trade and understand what loss is and how to deal with look at that. Could you imagine having this day right here? Look at that day so far. Boom. And then, of course, get a couple of losses in a row. I bet you that throws a kink in your armor a little bit. But it's probably absorbed in that 6 a.m. Look at this, 6 a.m. There's so many 6 a.m.s in there. That 6 a.m. session right there yielded out a minus $68 hit, but came right back in and just started again. The days are never about, it's never about losing on a particular day. You will have losing days, but you will not have losing weeks. This is what we back tested on. This is what we've seen so far in forward testing for the last 2 months. I've tested the last 6 months and had not a losing week. I had plenty of losing days where it would trade for a few days and then, one day you would have a loss, maybe a day and a half into that day to get back. But because we're using a $45 profit margin on an ATM, it comes back quickly. The ITM success for the Dex Atomic is really strong as well, but you get less fill rate and less profit per. You get the availability to do a lot of trades. See, like all these alerts is popping up now. It's incredible. I love it. Love, love, love it. Okay. So what we've done is only put a marker up here. This is the only thing that's up here in a little news tab in here. I don't know, just for fun. But this is going to be where you're going to come to your DEN portal. And in your DEN portal, you'll have some decisions to make. There'll be several tabs up here. You'll have, the Dex Atomic signals and some links to all the pages, which we're going to be trying. I'm going to try by Monday to get all the new charts up. Okay. On the ad-free pages for all you folks that are in the DEN. Ad-free pages. We're going to try to get something powerful in there too for you. The commodity pages that'll be in there. They won't be charts. They'll be alerts. Okay. There's 3 alerts that'll be happening: an ATM, an ITM, and the commodity indice pages. Pretty cool, right? Now, by Monday, we may have them all up. Having training for the commodities and indices and when to trade and how to trade and do all that stuff still may be following in the shadow, but we will get to them. I promise you. There's a lot of work that's being done to make this, and not just by myself now. There's other people out there testing. There's other people out there building within the system now. We've met a few people that have given us some code for journal making. And I'm going to be talking to Matt and to some others about creating a download button that when you put your CSV from your little exported file from nadex, it'll dump it into an Excel spreadsheet or a Google spreadsheet, depending on how well we can get the code to work. And that'll be cool because it'll calculate your win-loss percentages. We may even have something into the ZDON, which brings me to my next statement. The ZDON system itself is pretty powerful. We have a, oh, and I missed the time frame. Just give me 1 second. I got to log back in real quick. The ZDON system is pretty powerful. This is on my own personal VPS. I do apologize. It's taking a second. And that's go. Wow. Okay. Nicely done. Lots of trades on, but I'm the testing result, right? I'm the let's see here. Which ones we got for 12? I'm just going to go ahead and do them all because even if we got some repeats in there, it's fine.
And this is with no filters at all.
Yeah, this is with, I'm sorry. Yeah. I again, distraction, right? This is with no filters at all. This is with no time filters and with no percentage filters, performance filters on. Now, there's some that are using percentage filters. Now, what we're doing right now with the ZDON, okay? What we're doing right now with the ZDON bot, the one that's using the older signals from our system, it's using the daily signals, the 1 hour signals, and the 5 minute signals. Okay. Now mine has a 5 minute attribute to it, but you guys may not have that, right? And don't cry for it because let me tell you, it's terrible. It's terrible because it can work in some cases, and we're testing some things right now, and you may not like the results, or I may not like it, or Chris may not. Somebody's not going to like the results because they're going to have to tell people about it, right? Either not to do it or to do it. And either way, we're going to cry a little. Okay. So the solution here is that this program, as you can kind of see, we're in profit margin on this particular trade. What we're using is a 45.55 price margin, right? So $45 profit, but $45 cost on a sell and $55 cost on the buys, see, with just a 1 contract sale. Now, from last night to today, we've won 160 something bucks so far, from what I can see. Here's another test that has been done since yesterday. Oh wait, no, since the 15th. So how many trades? 20 trades. Out of 20 trades, $167 won. Remember what I said before, every 10 trades has a marker of, its success rate. And look, 65% success. So not too bad. At a $45 profit margin, you only need 55% success, 56% success to be profitable. Sitting at 65% success, he should definitely be a couple trades up for every 10. And at this case is about $86 for every 10. 86 something. Now, to me, this is pretty cool. Why? Because if we've created CVG, then crap, just add more contracts, folks. There's also something that this tester said. I won't tell you who it is, but you probably guess. But this tester also said that every loss could have been avoided by better time frame filtering. And that's true. You could have filtered probably a lot of trades out, knocking ones down that are only 90%. Remember, you only need 1 or 2 really good trades a day. You understand? See, he's also putting his time frame. You know, these were 80%, so he may have taken these 3 out, right? So there's data. There's data that's coming, and if you're in the den, this will do you well to know that no matter how many things we have, we're going to start you on the same thing. Step 1: learn the DEX atomic system. I don't care if you've been here 2 years. I don't care if you've been here 2 minutes. You will learn the DEX atomic system. If you want to be successful here, if you don't have the time, like you maybe when you first started, you're like, yeah, I got the time. I got this. If you don't have the time to learn the DEX atomic system, which is so stupidly easy, then you're not serious about your success. Yes, you could possibly drive a car with no experience whatsoever, but I'm not asking you to drive a car. I'm asking you to learn a system of profit that you'll need to know about. Because most people are like, hey, Max, just give me the ZDON. Give me whatever's going to let me trade automatically. And let's be real, that doesn't work. Without the knowledge behind it, without the understanding behind it. David Menning has the knowledge behind what the ZDON bot is, but he also has the knowledge of how trading and how the DEX atomic works. How simple the solution is.
Max,
Yeah, buddy.
how much of the training from the current website will be moved over to the DEN? Is most of, or all of that, or most of that, or are they going to work together?
Well,
So,
yeah.
So if somebody wants to start training today and he's joined the DEN,
Right.
all of this is going to still be perfectly relevant and will be either moved over or linked or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's all this information in here. If I go to the DEX atomic portal, all this information is going to be in there.
Okay.
This is what people are going to start with, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have.
So somebody could start immediately going through all of this and not have to wait for the DEN.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Populated, and there won't be any conflicts or anything.
Nope.
You know, yeah.
No.
Yeah, I figured that's the way it was, but I wanted to put that out for everybody.
Yeah, God forbid I had to go through and remake all these videos again. Yeah. I'll be adding some in, like, you know, how to trade the, you know, there's an ATM, there'll be an ATM strategy process in here. You know, under strategies, if we look, let's see, making your own business, interest trading, the tools, I think it's other tools. Yeah, the strategy, right? So in here, there's you know, how to do the strategy for the DEX atomic. Now, but as far as the DEX atomic ATM, I'm creating the strategy margins for each one. How to do ITM, how to do ATM, how to do repost on OTM, how to look at the market when it's going against you, all that kind of stuff, what to do next, all that, right?
So anybody who's a free member, get on there and start training now.
Yeah, if you're a free member, you're going to learn that process. But you can get in there, but soon on June 30th. Now, are we going to shut signals off? Are we going to shut everybody down in free on June 30th? Well, we're going to be sending emails out here very soon. Within by the 23rd, we're going to be sending emails out giving you a countdown that if you haven't gotten in yet, we're going to tell you, you know, how many people are in the I think there's like how many 15 or 16 or 17 something that have bought and are inside the network now. And so it is filling, but we haven't even, we've only given a handful of people access. We haven't opened this up to the general public so far just yet, just so the people that have been members on our stuff. So we haven't advertised in the groups and other places yet. So if you're seeing this, you're either on our YouTube channel and subscribed, and or you have gotten an email from us somehow, some way, you're a free member or what have you, you're getting these videos or you're watching this program. Because of that. Yeah. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I just finished work. I've just been listening for the last 10 minutes, so I'll let you carry on. Just let you know I was here.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Paul. It's good to see you. There is there's a nature to what you have to figure out what you want to do. And if you came here trying to find a signal system or something easy to use, you found it. But no matter how simple a hammer is to pick up and swing around, without some precision training, you can still hurt yourself. And the ZDON and the automation system is like a pneumatic nailer. So even though you know what a hammer is, you may not know what a pneumatic nailer is. So you could shoot the nail in your foot 300 times. That'd be great. Let me put that into you. The concept here is for you to get into learning how to trade the Dex Atomic Portal or Dex Atomic, and then switch over to ATM. And if you could trade that manually, if you could physically trade that manually, it is almost better than having trading it automated. You see, in automated, we get stuck with a few things. And let me put this down to you this way. The bot, okay, so if we have, let's just say that we have the ZDON here. And we have you. Okay. The ZDON, you can program each day or just set a process, but how easy, we didn't make it easy for you just to go through and push a button and change all of the contracts all at once. And there's a reason why, or put it in so you could change all the percentages or all, you know, the profit margins and all that stuff. You know why? Because you got to take care when doing it. And Thor, you're probably going to hate me for saying that. Because Thor, the first thing Thor always says is like, give me a change all button. And I get it. I get it. At first it was mental, and we will, with the new release of the ZDON system for our new signals, we'll have that. But the concept,
it was going through changing 45, 55, 45, 55.
Oh yeah, I had
forgotten how many pairs and time frames there were. Oh god.
I had my pinky on tab. I had 45 and 55, and how many times I made a mistake. But you've got to be careful, because put 45 in the contract side one time. Oh yeah. And watch what happens. Yeah, you'll never forget that one again. We had to take
4-1 for me.
4-1.
I just got in. Yeah, no, I've just got in from work and just checked my emails. So I've done at 45, and I've had 5 trades, 4 winners.
Wow. You see, that's.
In fact, I'm just going to put it on. Do a quick journal for you as well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No problem.
See, so there's Paul in, there's Thor, there's myself, there's Christoph's in trading the ZDON. Now we're trading the ZDON with the old signal at $45, because what we're doing is an ATM strategy process, right? But we'll cover that here in just a little bit. Let me get back to my point here. Working the ZDON, putting that on, working with the numbers, which ones works, which ones don't, what percentage success you should have, the performance filter, okay? You got to know what that is. You got to know how, you know, the profit margin is on either side. You got to know what pairs you're going to be trading. You got to know what news avoidance is. Okay. You got to know what level of stars or what level of excitement you have for the news. You know, do you want the news on or don't you want the news on? There's so many variables for this. This takes a week of Sundays to learn, just in the programming of it, just the setting up of it, the setting of the variables. Okay. Then once you turn it on, so let's just say this takes you about 3 weeks of testing and getting it all on, right? You got to have a server for it. I am a proponent of the ZDON. I love the ZDON. We spent a lot on this, and the new version of this coming out for the new signals will be pretty powerful. Right? It's going to be streamlined. It's going to be strong. It's still going to have all the same fundamentals, and we're going to be doing stuff. And yes, it will have a change all default. Nanny boo boo. All right. But, and then it just gets in and starts to work, right? Once it starts to work, you have to monitor, you know, how many trades it's going on. Boom, boom, boom. Win, 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 loss, loss, win, 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 loss, win, win. And then once that happens, the process starts to happen, right? the overall value of how many wins over losses, the percentage rates, $167, over 3 days. Okay. And how many trades were done? Well, there's maybe 100 trades here. Okay. Because you have more that you're trading, you have more losses, you have more wins, you have more losses. We're here on your side. If you're intraday trading, what could you do indifferent? Takes you about 2 weeks to learn the process, right? Maybe a little bit more, maybe 3 weeks, maybe the same exact amount of time. Each day you got to come in and probably do maybe a half hour's worth of cleanup in here if you're changing for filters or you want to change something within the system, whatever it is, right? You got to maintain it, you got to watch it. You got to go put your journal on to make sure, Here, in the same amount of time that this traded, I could also make $167 by sitting down on my computer for one time frame and trade 4 to 5 trades, or even just 10. Do you understand? So the point is, it's like, which one's better? Well, kind of depends on who you are. I'm going to be telling all the people that are just like that quick fix, give me the Z done, let me go kind of thing. I'm going to give you a very big word of warning. Trading the ATMs, all of them together, will result in a loss for you. Do you understand? It will result in a loss for you because you shouldn't be trading the Euro JPY and the USD JPY at the same time. You should choose one. You should choose a process. You should choose a pair. You should choose a couple of them, what have you, and stick with it. And as you can see, you don't need to have 50, 60 trades a day, 100 trades a day going on to be profitable. It can turn out like this, but it could also turn out like this. Because there's more trades going on. You have better streaks. You have more control. There's other things that the ZDON can do. So I'm saying to you that the save vault isn't the ZDON. It's in the knowledge that you gain by trading the Dex atomic system and the mentality, the simplicity of the process. It is never about the complicational process of automation. Automation versus manual has always been the chicken and egg mentality, right? Which should come first? Well, guess what, folks? You should learn how to train manually first and trade manually first, and then get it into the ZDON, and then know it. And you're probably going to find a very unusual process start to happening. You're probably going to see that you're probably going to like trading manually a lot more than filtering the ZDON. And that's going to tell you who you are as a trader. Because you're going to get things like this. You're going to get days that in your live section, you made $129 in 3 trades. And if you put a little extra work into it, you can get more. If you put extra time in it and you trade, this is a lot of trades here. How many trades is that for the day? That's 12 trades. Oh, well, the answer's right there. But yielded out to about the same amount of money as 4 trades or 9 trades did. Oh, that's not 9 trades. What is that? I guess his numbers got a little mixed up here. F66, 289. Huh. That's weird. What's going on there? F66. I don't know what he did here. Excuse me for 1 second. F66. Oh, I see. There you go. So you can kind of see that there's a little bit difference in your timing. You could have days that you don't lose at all, and you only traded for, what is that? A single hour. That's 1 hour. That's 11. That's the 11 a.m.s. Boom. Big win. Sayonara, going fishing. Okay. And there could be days that, if you're sitting down at the computer and you decide, hey, look, here on the 11th, I'm going to get in at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to trade every hour for 10 minutes until this is David Menning, right? This is crazy. Look at this. And I'm not saying he's crazy, but this is very powerful. That is 27 trades from 2 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening. 27 trades and made $747 in that time period that I have selected right there. It's one day. One contract, by the way. No joke. This $610 made since the 12th is one contract at a time. Not two contracts, not three, not four, just one. So the mentality here is not to sell you on this process. You're going to do that. You're going to come in and see what he sees and how he feels when he does that. But you're only going to be able to do that if you learn how to use the Dex atomic charts and the systems. David Menning is not using anything other than what you're using. The same tools. He learned on the same tools. He learned in the same process how to look the arrow, how to look at the process. And with the ATM, it's so simple. Do you understand me? It is so simple. If you're at the ATM level, when the pair comes out, you go to whatever the open is and you get yourself a statement at that price. There's an ITM mentality. And I think we talked about this a little bit the other day, that when the pair comes out, you can come back as statement. If it's a buy, come back as statement and hit 45. Put a working order for 45 if it's out. If you want to come down the last 12 bars on the ITM mentality with a 45 process, you could do that as well. You could trade in the money trades with an at the money price, because shit's going to happen. Like here, if you traded an at the money, boom, all the way down here, but I probably wouldn't have taken this trade. The bot would have. The bot would have taken this trade because look how far away it is from the statement, from the MA. The bot would have taken it, but I wouldn't have taken it manually. And if I did, I would have came back to my top 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and came up to the top, the highest in that process and got it there. Would I have still lost at that level? Yes. It would have still been a loss, or I wouldn't have traded at all. I either avoid it or I traded ITM. But it's the same thing here, right? The ATM, the open right there, this was a win. So out of this little time frame, one loss. We don't know about this one yet. This may just be a bad morning. If you're trading just the Audi JPYs, somebody might be trading the Audi USDs, and you're using it from this perspective. Now, I don't know if there's news going on right now. Is there anything going on? Do we know? But the perspective of the bot itself is going to come in, it's going to take every trade, and it's going to work it out in the numbers, where you can come in and add your voice to your trade system. That makes sense?
Particularly what you said about watching for duplicate pairs. You know, the Audi Japanese yen, Audi USD, that can put you into a double contract in the exact same direction and so on. Don't want to necessarily be in that. And even when you look at things that have opposite, like the USD, Audi USD, and then you're in the USD Canadian, something like that, where the USD is in one the numerator and the other denominator. Well, you know, one of those is probably going to lose because it's only going to go one direction. Now, in theory, you could do a kind of a spread or something where you're in between, but you know, you want to maybe turn off some things and be paying attention to that sort of thing.
Absolutely, and something that Thor touched on is convoluence of the process, right? So if I have a Euro USD and I have a USD, say JPY, and the Euro USD is a buy, and the USD JPY on the signal is a sell, okay? The quote pair and the base pair, the base and the quote are different, but these two are the same, but they're in polar opposite positions. then the signal should be polar opposite, right, for confluence. If not, if they're both a buy, if the USD decides to be added and go up in value, which one's going to lose? If the USD increases in price when it is in the primary position, this is the one that's going to win. But guess what? It would affect the relationship with the euro, and this one would lose. Okay. Now, there's plenty of times that this could be augmented because maybe the JPY does a plus, and it knocks us down in the dirt, right? At the same time, the euro and the USD is doing better, which sort of channels this one, puts it into a channel, and the euro loses. So news is a factor in a lot of the success of the process. But one thing that I know for sure, as a quick glance, if I see this and I choose the euro USD, I know I'm choosing, at least I know that it's even on side. It's confluence, I think that's what it's referred to as. Okay, that is matching up, that the market is in that movement, and euro USD, or the USD is doing its thing. Okay, so I have confidence if I have that they're both in the same direction. I don't like that at all. I'm probably not going to trade either one, right? Because I wouldn't know which one's going to be better at that point, just by a simple glance, without doing a lot more investigation work. Here's my main thing that I look at when let me give up share and I can show you what I do. Because I use TradingView charts, I'm just going to pull up the master one that I use, and I'm going to show you what I do in the process here. Is that when I get to my charts, what I'm looking at when a signal fires off is that I'm looking at where is it compared to the moving average for the process, right? So let's just take this one in an example. There's a lot of information here. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. But there's a few things that I'm looking at. The first thing that I look at is where is the, if I'm going to come in as an ATM, it's above the MA, okay? It's always going to try to come back and touch the level, right? And then where are my support levels at? They're all down here. Okay, so this would have been one. This is a big, huge pull. This is a big impulse bar, probably news related. And once that happens, once you get that big, huge impulse bar, there's always pullback. There's always pullbacks. Now, see, we're in a downtrend with an up arrow after news. The reaction is going to be to try to get the pair back down this way. So I know that. Big, huge bar, reaction. This one becomes no bueno in that level, right? Even though that the market's moving, it fires off a fire arrow. I would use an ITM mentality here. You see why this is more powerful than the ZDON is? Because the ZDON's not going to look at that. It's just going to go, me play numbers. That's it. And hopefully that there's more wins than losses, and you only need 55% to break even or 62% to make money. And decent money. Something like this that has a buy, this, or a sell trend, right? A bear trend. Would I get into a trade like this? With no information, too much information to the left, and I'm in this big red zone here. Yeah, I probably would have gotten into this one. So I would have had my loss. I would have had a win. I don't know if I would have gotten this one with there had been no pullback, but I don't know what time this was. That's 7 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't have traded this. My timing, I wouldn't have been in this trade, but the bot would have been. Ooh, drew an extra line. So when I look at the market, for me, is that I make my assumptions real quickly. Do I get into a trade or not? But there are, if you want to trade like the bot, just get into every single one. But you're not here to trade every single signal. You're here to add the values of the processes that you learn as you learn the DEX atomic system. And that takes time.
Hey, Max.
Yeah, but
This is Chris. But I get to talk with a lot of folks, as you know. A lot of them have 9-to-5 jobs, and they're not able to get to their computer during the day. Maybe that's the best time to trade. What would you recommend for those folks as far as trading is concerned at some point in the future when they learn the system? Maybe using the ZDAN with just a couple of pairs, or I would just offer that. I just wondering what you think, or what could you suggest? Because I get that question a lot. So could you
you get what
help me
question
out with that?
I work between 9 and 5.
I work 9 to 5. I can't get to the
I can't
get to the computer.
Okay, so they can't get to a computer between 9 and 5, right?
Yeah.
So they get home about 6 p.m. in this virtual request of information. They get home at 6 p.m. Okay.
Right.
The first signal's firing off after nadex closes between 5 and 6 is 7 p.m. Right? And during this time. So are they available between 7 and 11 p.m.? Or they have just had a really hard day and they got to don't really want to do anything.
Well, no, I understand the time frames. Would you
the answer
recommend?
Well, of course.
Go ahead.
The answer to the question is the question itself. If you can't do it between 9 and 5, when can you do it? See, this system and this program and this company is no longer going to be kowtowing to, I really don't want to I don't want to sit at the computer all day long. That's fine. This is not about investment where you come in and put $100 in and pay that a month, and then I give you $5,000 a month. This will never happen for you. Never. If you say, I have a 9-to-5 job, how am I going to get to a computer, Max? Well, either find a way to get to one, create yourself an environment to where if you got smokers in your building, right? Or maybe you're a smoker or not a smoker, go take a trading break. How much time do you need? The average smoker wastes 15 minutes every 2 hours on cigarettes. I'm pretty sure that if you got up from your computer and walked away for 10 minutes and sat down, or maybe you can't, maybe, this is all hypothetical in the world where we talk about, that person who's going to ask this particular question. Maybe your time is from 8 to 12 at night. Maybe you're using a double shift, or maybe it's, if there's too many obstacles in your way, you have two choices. Don't do it, or remove the obstacles. Well, you have a third too, or find where the obstacles are not in trade during that time. There's always signals firing. The 1 hours fire 22 hours a day, from Sunday night to Friday afternoon. The ATMs are in this bracket. You can't tell me that during this 9 to 5 period, an hour of travel there, an hour of travel in the morning, wake up an hour, maybe you're going to work out. I can't get in the middle of my workout routine. Well, then let me tell you, if you can't find a solution, our system fires 24. Okay. Well, again, with nadex, 22 hours a day. There's a trade, there's a signal, there's something. You can't find the 1 hour, 2 hours. Now, when I say this, you got to be at the top of the hour, say at 8 p.m. to go in and do 10 minutes worth of work, to have a look and do it. Boom, 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 done. Right? Good. But if you're that person who's like, Max, just give me the bot because I work 9 to 5 and I got to come home and I got to have my brandy. Then my wife or husband come in and rub my feet and I can't do nothing more than that. Guess what, guys? You're still going to have to do work to make sure that your ZDON's working. And let me tell you, I have people in, and that's what I was trying to say before. If you took the ZDON compared to you, how much work is being done? In some cases, it's a lot more for the ZDON than it is for you. Because you got to maintain it. You got to make sure it's doing its thing. You wouldn't just put some sort of automatic lawn mowing thing out there and then put your Chihuahua out front, right? You got to maintain it. You got to look for it. You got to protect yourself. You got to make sure a thing is working. Make sure it's still on. There's a lot of work to do in there. And if you're spending that time doing that work, then you can easily learn how to do the trading side. And Chris is right. We do have a lot of people who write us and say, "Hey, Max, I've been with you for a while, and I work a 9 to 5, or I'm over the road. I'm a truck driver, or I'm a security guard, or whatever you are." But whatever you are, if you want to, the betterment of your life is never about who you are right now. If it was, we would never, ever progress. We would never take ourselves to the next level. If we let who we are right now dictate what we can do, we will never, ever progress. I would still be a 17-year-old kid on the USS New Jersey. I would always be that welder that walked into repair division that very first day. I would always be that person. Life gets in the way. It creates conflict. It creates course of action. And at that time, you're going on life like this, and something happens, an event puts a big giant obstacle in your way. What do you do? What do you do when somebody asks you, well, what do you do now? You either power through it and punch it and break it, or you go around it. That 9 to 5 obstacle that got put in your way here, there's many more options for you. Either power through it and trade at lunch, trade at your break, tell your boss you started smoking when you didn't, and trade through it, or trade around it. If I were to go back and look at my time, or even let me pull up the right one. Here we go. And if I were really to look, if I were to go into his demo, now David Menning's retired, so he's got the advantage of trading into this level, right? But if I were to go and just pick out, because I get this a lot, when's your best success time? Anytime you're trading. And let's just say that I just picked out anything from 8 to 11, right? Just chose anything from 8 to 11. Here's one day right here. Here's 8 p.m. This is what you got home, you ate dinner, you're sitting down at your computer, it's 7:55, signal comes out 8 o'clock. You trade that one for 8 to 9. You trade the, it's 6:55. You got a 7 o'clock ATM, you got a 7 o'clock ATM, and you trade that 7 o'clock, and we're going to take it to 11, the 11 p.m.s. You don't even need to even see it be successful at 11 p.m. Just go to bed. You put it on at 10 o'clock and go to bed. Well, there you made $309. And let's just say you come to the next day. Okay, he's in trading. Okay, here's an 8 p.m. right here. This day you had a really bad day. Okay, it was a bad day on that day. That was a terrible day. You just washed out everything you made from it. Actually, no, you still made $127. Let me get into another one. Here's another 8 p.m. Boom, boom, come all the way down. Now you're up $170 now. This is your week. Okay. Get into another set here. He didn't trade past 8 o'clock at that time on that one. But the average is that if you're trading at that time, maybe you're trading to 12 or 1 a.m. or what have you. Okay, maybe you got to be at work at 7 a.m. and you work from 7 to 3 or 7 to 2 or 8 to 4 or whatever it is that you work. Find yourself a time frame to be in and make it work. I hope I answered your question without being too crass. So I'll pay for that later on when we talk. You're going to give me a lot of crap.
There's also
No, I just wanted to have you go over. I wanted to have you go over that again, just to because we have a lot of new folks, especially on the free side, that maybe taking a look at this.
Yeah.
And so I appreciated just you going over and reviewing with folks that you got to make your time. It's not easy, and then in the process you still have to learn the system. So it's going to take you just perhaps a little bit longer if you have that 9 to 5, 8 to 4 job. But thanks for, no, you weren't too crass.
Okay. Well, listen, it comes down to never about, like I said, you know, if you allow your obstacles to define your future, you'll never get out of it. And if you can't see that people rise to that occasion, or they rise to that benefit, if you really want it, if you really want to do what David Menning's doing and what I'm doing and what other people are doing in our system, then what you have to do is find the solutions to your obstacles. And if it's time, you find time. If it's money, you find the money one way or another. Go trade cans, go do the extra shift, put the time in to do whatever, save a couple bucks. Don't buy that DoorDash or buy that extra toy at the store for yourself, right? Don't get the extra video game or buy the consoles or buy an extra computer. You know, get in there and make it work.
Or the latte.
Or that extra, oh my God, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
think
alone, you cut out lattes for a month, you're in.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
there's the old adage, the old saying that I'll always remember, says, "Don't give me your problems, give me your solutions."
Yes. Do you remember back in the day, there's a couple of you here that remember, way back in the day, I used to say in calls, if you're going to bring me a problem, have a little bit of the solution ready, right? You don't have to have the whole thing, just something. Just a little tiny morsel of me knowing that, hey, look, you become problematic. You could figure shit out. You can kind of say, hey, you know what? I do have that 9 to 5, but you know what? I have an hour lunch. And of course, if you fill in the dejected, you know, the dejection of that, of, hey, I have a noon lunch and God, you know, I don't want to be trading during my lunch, you know, then you really don't want to trade. You really don't. It's not about the love of trading that excites people, is it? Does anybody here on the phone love trading? Like you get up every morning going, I'm a trader. I don't think so. And if you do, I love you, but you're an idiot because it's not a life to love. Let me tell you, it's frustrating. At every second and every day, somebody's trying to steal your money from you. You know what I'm saying? So it's not easy. You're always in battle. You're always fighting. Did I make the right decision or not? You not only just fight yourself, but you fight everybody you're in a trade with. You think the person on the other end of this trade, since the binary, they take the upside, you take the downside. You think you're meeting in Scotland before you? No, you're fighting. You're hoping that you've done your analysis correct. Somebody's got to be right and somebody's got to be wrong. And you just hope that you're more right than they are right. It's a battle. But once you get to consistency and you get to that level of sureness, whether or not you use a signal or you use the chart or you use a bot or you use whatever, it all clears away and you're no longer a trader. You're just management. And once you get to that level, I asked, and again, this is never about me and my successes. And I don't want to make it about me and my successes because I've been triggered by many things in my life. I had a massive death in my family and of my family when I was very young. And that sort of spurred me into a whole mentality of thinking like, I got to learn as much as I can. So I'm never expendable. I got to constantly push myself to a whole nother level. But for the average individual that hasn't had that traumatic onset and onslaught, you have to ask yourself, what are you prepared to do to make what you want to happen? If your result is, I need an extra $5,000 or an extra $1,000 a month, extra $3,000 a month, what are you prepared to do for it within the bounds of your morality? We could all go rob 7-Elevens on the weekends. But the bounds of our morality say that, listen, I want to learn a craft, a trade, a solution for myself that I can depend on. Not some gimmick, not some fly-by-night solution, but a real craft. That what can I do that can allow me to do this full time? Talking to David Menning, talking to other people that have done this, Ron Fickert and many others, it all comes down to the one thing, and that's finding the time and the solution to do it, and to do it consistently, to train, to prepare your mind, to prepare your day, and make it happen. It's not easy, but it can be done. And not just by one or two people, not just by the guy that has some sort of axe to grind in the world, but by real everyday people, from the retired to the overemployed. And as of late, let's be real honest, how many are you back to work yet? How many of you are don't want to be expendable from your job, to wonder, oh, well, I'm not going to get unemployment this week because I didn't put in 40 hours, or I put in 32.5 hours because my companies make me in and do whatever. How many of you essential people out there are tired of being that person? That you're worried, if they cut me from here, I got to go into work because if I lose that, I lose my benefits, or I lose my money, or I lose my time. Make that shit happen for yourself. God, I didn't want to turn this into life affirmations of Max Farrow and his world. But the people on this phone have been with me for a very long time, and they know that I'm sincere when I say, if you really want to make it work, we're here to help you make it work. We have the answers, but you have to provide the work for the solution. I can only give you the pathway. You have to walk it. You have to do it. You have to cut your own things and own obstacles in your life that get in the way. All right. Any other questions? You guys got anything to throw at me that we need to answer? Any issues that we should know about?
No, I think we're good.
Not yet. Okay. When the time comes, the den's going to have plenty of things that we'll be missing and plenty of things that we'll forget just by simple history alone. Max Farrow doesn't remember everything, of course. And my guys here will keep me abreasted, right? When things are missing, of course. But please, if you find yourself, you're in need, do something that you can't really do at any other company. Give us a call. Talk to Chris, talk to Thor, talk to myself. Right into the chat. We're receptive. One of us will be here to help you. All right. The upcoming this week is, like I said, Friday. We'll have some of that stuff in there for you DEN members. By Monday, the release of the pre-launch system will be ready in that solution. I did want to talk to some of you about the ZDEN system. Like I said, we are, oh my God. Yeah, doing pretty good in there. I'm very, very happy with that. Sorry, I digress. The attachment to the ATM, or to the ZDEN with the ATM, the ITM, and the commodities and indices will be coming over the next 2 weeks. We have finally gotten to a point where we've gotten the databasing down. I'm working on compiling the database with a solution that we have on our old signals within the new system to compile and data process that. It's not going to be as glorified as the old one was, but it will be. It will have numbers. It will have data, and that's what I'm very excited about. But the first version, the beta release of the DEX, or the ZDEN DEX Atomic ATM process, right, will be within the next couple of weeks, maybe even faster. But we still need, if you want to contribute to the process, either financially and you want to become a donor to that process, please do by hitting the donation button on there. But let me tell you, save your money. If you have extra money for that and you want to help us get there faster, I have one programmer that I can bring on that can help me parse a lot of information, but I'm doing this all myself and Matt Owens, who's doing the ZDEN side. We're the only two in programming. Okay. If we had to hire somebody on, it's going to take extra money. So if you want to do that, if you want to be a part of that, then please do come on board and help us out. But if not, save your money for the DEN, pay for your membership, get your thing on. We also had somebody yesterday ask if they could donate for making a DEN availability for somebody, and I said yes. And I wanted to put that out. There are some of you, because this person has been making money with us for 2 years now, says that he would donate for somebody, and he found somebody he could donate for. So he's paying for his thing. So, which is pretty cool. I think, if you find some that, maybe somebody in your family, or if you're already a member, we can give you some discounts. We can give you some help with that. Please do. If you're going to donate for somebody else, I will match whatever you donate. Okay. So if you say, I want to donate for this person, and you want to put a $500 down for their den, and so they can come on board, then I will donate the same amount that you do. Okay. And make sure that person gets that account and that process really going, right? So you can help as many people as possible as well. And that's huge for us. So if you're donating, we will donate as well, in our time, in our process, in our solution. Okay. We will also have a Trade It Forward program too. Once we get going and we have a group of people on board that are in live and making money, we'll have a kitty that you can put in to help other people get to that level as well. Okay. I'm Max Farrow. This is DexFX. I want to thank Thor, Paul, and Christoph for being here today. You guys rock.
Thank you for putting up with us.
Sorry I was late, but life gets in the way sometimes.
Oh, as it always does. So pretty soon, these guys will be holding a lot of these videos too, for you too. So dear old Max can go to his island that he's preparing. No, not yet. Maybe one day. But I'll see you all soon. I'm Max Farrow. This is DexFxMarkets. See you inside. And as always, trade well and live well.